Aha! It's that time of year again. Meetings there, repairers of Land Rovers and various other things. Today, okay, we've got a service to do on my Land Rover yearly service. I just do oil change every year regardless. The countdown on the service has gone for -2 or something, so we're overdue. We're going to need some 5W30 oil to the correct spec. You need a sump plug or the washer, just to be careful that you don't create a new leak. And then you're going to need an oil filter. I've got myself a carbon filter for the cabin, which is not essential, and an air filter. So these are just good things to do every year. I don't do a million miles a year. I'm not one of those high mileage drivers, but I just like to keep the car maintained anyway. And I think if you just change the oil frequently on a lot of cars, it keeps them going longer than they would otherwise. First things first, take off your bash plates. Once you've got the bash plates off, it just exposes the oil pan sump. Okay, make sure you've got a decent sized pan. This is a 12mm bolt on here, or nut head. Shouldn't be very, I lied, it's 13, which I had and I took off. 13mm on here, shouldn't be on too tight, and just a bit messy. Just a quick note, the reason you want a new sump plug or washer is that the old one that's on there, the old washer, goes flat. So you can see that this one, the new one's got a sort of rounded lip on it. And that's why it might leak if you weren't to replace the washer. Sometimes you just buy the washer, sometimes you can buy the whole sump plug thing. Usually it's not very expensive either way. So just cautionary tale, if you think, oh, I'll just reuse it, on this particular car, it can cause a leak just because of the way it's designed. Once it's drained out, you're going to just pop the new sump plug in, lick a little bit of the oil that's dripping out just to put around the washer, and start it off, fingers as always, to make sure it's not threaded. So this should be going in very nicely and smoothly, and it should not be threaded, as in if it's tough to put in, it's lightly threaded. You're screwing it into a sump pan and you don't want to be damaging the thread on there. Right, so just to kind of like nipped up, because it's got a rubber washer, so it should be sealed. Obviously check it later once you start filling it with oil. But for now, that is that job done. Drained out all the nasty oil into the pan, and we're going to continue our service. Okay, next service item is the oil filter. Now, got to be a little bit careful with this because it's a bit fun to take out. But we are going to undo that. It needs a big 32mm socket, and as you can see, when you do it back up, the torque's only 25Nm, so it's only really sort of hand tight. So we're just going to pop that on and then start undoing it very carefully. Shouldn't be very tight because it just shouldn't be, because it's plastic, but you just gently undo it, and we will then withdraw the filter and the cartridge. It does kind of require two hands because you've got to manipulate it out. It does take a little bit of turning, but once it's free, you can feel it. Just to make sure that it just let the pressure out so that maybe any oil in there can just drain out. And then we're going to just pop that out. It's got a bit of a lip at the bottom, so you have to sort of manipulate it out a little bit. I'm going to try and put it in there, so catch it in there so it doesn't get oil everywhere. But let's see what we can do first. I'm going to just raise it up. It usually snags a little bit on one of these bits. It's not too hard. There you go. Right, just draw it up. Try not to get a load of oil, otherwise it just goes into the V of the engine and probably hangs around doing something nasty. That's it really. So when you take it out, the oil filter cartridge is in there, but it's different when you refit it. So new filter comes in a box, and you should get with it a new seal for the filter housing. That's important, obviously. To get the old filter out, you've got to pull it out. It's a little bit fun. So there's a knobbly bit on the end that you can grab. Knobbly bit. You just got to give it a good pull. Try not to get it all over yourself, and it will come out. That's the old one. Feeling excitable, I might inspect it later, see whether there's any metal shards or anything in it, but my priority at the moment is to get this filter replaced and installed, just so that we are done our yearly service, and then we're all back to sort of running. I mean, it's dirty, obviously it's going to be really mucky in there. Probably just give it a bit of a wipe out, just to get anything nasty out of it, and also you don't want it dripping gunk all over you. Make sure there's nothing in there that's nasty sludge. So that's what it's like inside. We can't see it. Let's turn it on. So that's what it looks like inside. It's got a springy thing at the bottom, and it sort of clips into the filter. So I'm going to remove the old rubber seal because we've got to replace that. It's important. And obviously be careful because you don't want to damage anything, but that just slides off. Do it properly. Okay, so we need to get the rubber seal and install that. I'm just going to use a bit of the old oil to lube it up, just to make it easier to put in, and also give it a little bit of lubrication so it's not dry when it goes in. Now we're just going to gently pull it over. Don't pull it too hard or you can put it out of alignment. And also, one thing to note is this is not flat. It's got a bit of an angle to it. So the seal, if it doesn't look flat, that's not actually a problem. Don't try and correct it. That's part of the design. And you're just going to gently work it in so that you've got it in with a little bit of oil on it. Just helps it be a little bit more sort of go in a bit easier. Again, and then you check it and you make sure that you've got this nice lip going on, so it's got a kind of a lip that's pointing out like that. So when you're screwing it on, it's then going to seal nicely into the housing. Now if you're like me and when you first did it you didn't realise this because you were stupid and didn't read the manual correctly, you mustn't put the new oil filter into this. You need to put it in to the vehicle housing, because that little notch that we used to pull it out with goes and clips in. So we'll have a little look at that and we'll show you, and then we'll do it from there. So this is kind of ready to go back in. Of course, same thing again, just keep it clean and don't let it get contaminated. So in the oil filter housing there is a notch where the oil filter is going to just clip in. So you need that little bit on the oil filter. So this is the oil filter, the notch, and just try and pop it in. So it goes on the spindle, like there's a spindle or a spline or whatever. It's only one place it really, you can feel. So if you were to, and then just turn it around and it just pushes in really easily. So that's the oil filter installed. And then you just got to gently plate this back on top and do it up gently. So let's do that. Like when it came out, it just needs a little bit of wiggling to get it in. Just make sure there's nothing right in the way of it. Okay, so if you just pull this up, pull it back a little bit, just gives you a little bit of extra room to manoeuvre it in. But make sure you're not snagging on anything. But you can hear when it hits the thing, it makes a good noise. Now, this is strictly kind of finger tightening to start with, because obviously you've got another plastic thing, you do not want this threading. So very gently kind of start it off, probably clip your clippy thing back in, make sure that's installed, and then I am just going to tighten it up, just hand tight gently, just so that it's installed. doesn't go very far, but obviously you're going to want it to stop. There you go. So once it's stopped, it literally is, you know, just hand tight. And that's it. The oil filter is now replaced. All that remains is to top up the oil, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows how to do. It's around 4 litres. I'll put it in the flash it up on the screen how much it is exactly, and then we are basically done on our service, and that's another year for our Discovery 3 where it doesn't need any more oil changes. Don't know, this is a bit random. I've seen other channels looking in their oil filters for bits of metal. Now personally, if I found bits of metal in my oil filter, I'm not sure what I'd do about it, but I can't see anything in here that's shiny. So I guess unless you're worrying about your car particularly disintegrating on you, your oil filter should not contain shards of metal. I mean, it would only if you were worried that you had a serious engine problem, which I don't think I do. There you go. Can't see any flecks of metal in there. Tell me if you've noticed some that I haven't. I can't see anything. Not very exciting, I know, but just curious when you see some other channels and they're kind of going on about the metal that they might find in there. Not in mine, which is a good thing. I suppose if you did find metal in there, then the car's on the way out and you probably should just get it sold as quickly as possible. But obviously I couldn't recommend that out loud, but I guess that would be your thought process. Or you've got another few spare cars and you can just take this one off the road and rebuild the engine. There you go. Right, we've got our air filter. This is up here, this Jubilee clip thing is 7mm. If you want to release it, it just gives you a bit of manoeuvring here. If you're going to mess about with the probably the airflow sensor that's sitting in here, don't usually check that or look at it because there's no errors coming up regarding it. Which then we just got a series of screws to undo. There's one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one down here, and one over there. And that's super simple. It's nice to have a simple job, isn't it, for a change? You don't, I mean, you don't even have to remove this if you don't want to, but if you want to, you can just pull it out and move it over to the side. Obviously, be careful of the wiring. So it's just a normal old panel filter. So on this side, it'll probably be horrible and dirty, but we'll look at that in a minute. Just make sure there's nothing awful sort of hanging around inside. All looks clean to me. All looks good. So I'm just going to get my new filter out. And then we're going to just slide it in. Make sure it's all clean around the edges and it slots in. And it fits over the lip so that you're not losing the seal, because otherwise it's pointless having an air filter. I'm just going to gently rotate this back round into position. Make sure you're not snagging on anything. It should just pop back down and seal on, and then reverse. Just do the screws up again, and then you're done. An actual simple job on a Land Rover. I know. Who would have thought? Final step then is just you've got to put in 5.5 litres of synthetic, fully synthetic 5W30. Make sure it's the correct Specification, use a funnel because it is messy, and also it's decided to be windy out here today, but just 5.5 litres. I'm going to put 5 in now because I'm doing other repairs. I'll drop the car down after I've finished and then top up the rest, but you know the drill. And that's it, service completed for another year. Nice thing to tick off the list, and also whilst I was doing other work on the vehicle, excellent time to do it.